G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the round 9 preview, and it is another big week of SuperCoach, so a lot of decisions need to be made, of course. So a bit nervous, but I think I know what I'm going to do. Probably about a 70% chance that I do this. So I just thought I'd give it to you guys. Probably should have done this a little later, but I'm a bit short on time. So because not everything's set in stone, but I'm pretty confident on these trades I'm going to do for this coming week. Vice captain, captain, you could flip a coin really, but we'll just talk about that. So, all right, here's what I've decided to do. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephen DW Smith, and that's where I put out a poll of these 4 options I'm really considering. So, this is what I've decided to do. Out goes Van Rooyen, out goes Jordan Ridley, and out goes Darcy Parish. So, yeah, I think I'm going to make the decision on trading Darcy Parish. The only reason I'd keep him is if we hear news in the next 20 hours about his calf injury and it's not that bad, or if Sam Simpson scores pretty well tonight. So those would be the only 2 reasons, but I think I'm leaning towards this. All right, let's just move Seamus Mitchell into there. Wait, how did I do this last time? I don't even remember. I think it's this way, yep. Right, so in comes Josh Weddle from the Hawks. I think he's got good job security. I think they invested a lot into him and they're going to look to play more games into him. So I'm fine with that. Didn't want to spend 200K on Rory Atkins, who might be out of the side next week if Weller is back. And never, I don't know, I don't trust Geelong too much. I know I have Sam Simpson, but there's a massive difference. He's in his 7th season of AFL football, while Nevitt's in his 2nd season. It might just take a while for these younger blokes to get involved a bit more into Geelong's team. So I think Sam Simpson's pretty solid for the time being. Could get dropped next week, but we'll see. All right, I am going Jack Sinclair from the Saints. I just think he's a guy where I've been dying to get him for the past couple of weeks. I feel like this week with the Ridley injury is a good excuse, and I'm going to snap him up for sure. So Sinclair comes into the team. I don't have many premiums with that buy, so that really helps. And I'll look to target another one with that buy next week. And it's between Merritt, Mills, and Steele, and I have decided on the better Essendon midfielder for SuperCoach, Zach Merritt, which leaves me one more boost left, basically 12K in the bank and 16 trades. So, yeah, I'm a bit low on trades, but I guess this is quite a sideways move, but I got in Sinclair because it just works with my structure a bit better. I needed to get in a defender. So I've got one more defender to fill. I've got 3 more midfielders to fill, and I've got one more forward with just because, remember, I've got Goulden in the midfield, which I'll eventually move into my forward line. I've got 1 forward left to upgrade. So 5 upgrades left with 16 trades. I think it's fine. So why am I trading? So, yeah, this is how it's probably going to look. Let me just get English. Vice captain and captain, I'm going to vice. I could change my mind really quickly here because I'm very, very tempted to put the VC on Tom Stewart tonight. We've seen a lot of big scores on Friday night, and I'm really tempted by that, but we'll hold off for the time being. I think the safe option would be VC Oliver, C Bont, easy. But I'll tell you what, so it's either going to be this, or I'm really tempted to do VC Tom Stewart into English, because I think English is just going to outrun Pitternet around the ground. Pitternet might win the taps, but English will just outrun him pretty easily in that game. Just moves a lot more freer compared to Pitt. So, and then you got Tom Stewart, who I think should do pretty well against Richmond tonight. The only fear would be that he'll cop a lot of attention by Richmond players. Hopefully that don't injure him, but to be fair, I guess he injured a Richmond player last year, but that doesn't matter. So if I wanted to have a bit of fun with vice captain and captain, I'd go Stewart into English, but I'm probably early days. I'm going to go Bont, Oliver into Bont. Is there anyone else on the bench that Wonder why that is. It was 2,530 before. I mean, I don't give a rat's about. Oh, there we go. I don't give a rat's about projection. A better way to look at it is like if you're looking at matchups, for example, in leagues, you just count how many extra premiums you've got, basically. So that's how I usually go. So we got 5 more upgrades to do with 16 trades, 1 more boost. That's fine. So Weddle. We'll see how Sam Simpson goes tonight, or if there's any other injuries as well. Let's say Tim Taranto gets injured. I'll probably hold on to Parrish just so I can worry about that next week. But I really like Merritt, my team. It just feels comfortable. 582,000. I know his break even's 131, but I think he should do pretty well against the Lions tomorrow night. Sam Simpson, we'll see how he goes. If he goes 80 plus, I'll probably keep Parrish, to be honest, because that sort of cancels out a little bit. So this is how it looks. Let's have a look at my round 12. Actually, before we do that, I'll talk about what I'm thinking in round 10 and 11. I'm thinking Mills next week. I just want to see how he goes this week against the Dockers before I grab him. He should still be at a fairly solid price at, like, what's the worst he could be? 530, 540K. So that's perfectly fine. I'll grab him next week, probably an expensive either Chandler, Radaglia, Ashcroft, that sort of thing. I don't mind fielding Sam Simpson if he keeps his spot for the time being. Like, I don't see that as I don't really see that as an issue, to be honest. So we'll see how Sam Simpson goes tonight. Hopefully he goes 80 plus, so I don't have to trade out Parrish, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited to have Merritt. So yeah, we'll see how we go. If Simpson does go 80 plus, I'll probably hold Parrish. I'll probably try to get Merritt and Mills next week, probably using Parrish, for example, unless we hear any news, but I'll get into the reasoning why I'm trading Parrish. But next week, I want to grab Callum Mills, as you can see with my round 12 buy structure. He's a forward, so we'll eventually move him there. But I really need probably a midfield round 12 buy player, so that's where I'm going to target Callum Mills. And then in round 11, I'm thinking of targeting Darcy Cameron. So it looks like he's going to be back round 10. I can grab him. He can play 1 game. He's got a break even of 56, and I'll try to grab him in my forward line and complete that, because I don't know how I'm going to get Gawn unless he drops a stinker, that sort of thing. So I think we'll just have to grab Cameron and just bet against Gawn, which I'm not particularly fond with, but I guess he's a bit older now, so maybe he might be managed here and there. He was just coming back from a knee injury. So lastly, let's talk into why I'm trading. I'll shorten my face cam here. Now, what's happened there? Now, why am I trading out Darcy Parrish? So I'm going to go through a few little stats here once that loads. Why did it do that? Oh, my God. Parrish. All right, let's go over why I'm trading him. So it's just calf tightness, keep in mind. But what concerns me, so he did his calf in 2017. He was out for a month. And look at his scoring after that. Now, to be fair, that was his second season, so we won't pay too much attention to that. Last year, he injured his calf at the Carlton game, got subbed off. I was at that game, missed 2 weeks, came back for Sydney in 1 game, and he missed a month of footy with a new calf injury. So it wouldn't concern me if it wasn't a calf. If it was like a hamstring, I'd be like, he's never done that before. But and then as well, we got to remember in the Saints Essendon preseason game, he had his calf strapped after the game. Not strapped, iced after the game. So look, I knew what I was getting myself into with the Parrish pick, but I thought at the time he was the best pick. And if he could just stay on the park, I knew that he could average about 105 to 110. So I think I got him at 540K, something like that. I don't remember exactly, maybe 550. I just thought, you know what? He's safe as houses if he stays on the parks, but he's now injured, and I don't feel confident holding him. We've seen how Laird has been struggling since that little calf niggle that he's been dealing with, and he's still struggling. We saw with LDU, even though that was a bit different, it was a calf cork, but you can see how calf injuries can really derail a player's season. I don't want to get involved with that if I want to keep going up the ranks. So, yeah, look, I think this is still a very solid team. 16 trades with 5 upgrades to go. I'll probably have to go up, one down for the rest of the year and look for value. Or if I'm running really tight on trades, I might have to go super value bloke. SuperCoach Pro brought up a good point, and keep Hopper, but loop him with another 23rd premium on my bench, that sort of thing. So that's something I could look to do, that sort of thing. So, yeah, this is how the side's looking, boys. Now, one more thing I could consider. We haven't heard any news on Marshall just yet, but just in case we hear any bad news about Marshall before the Geelong-Richmond game starts, I'll put the emergency on Radigalia and loop Mitchell, and I'll keep Simpson out. Probably loop Mitchell and Davey. That doesn't thrill me too much because we might need to keep Simpson in the midfield just in case we hear any news with Paris. So hopefully that's not the case. I'd love to field Radigalia. I think it's either a really good score or a really bad score. Against Richmond tonight with no Tom Lynch, I'm happy to field him. I mean, I could loop if I want to. Should I? I could actually, That's a good point. I could loop Radigalia and Seamus Mitchell tonight. See how Radigalia goes. Is there anyone else? I could loop Chin Cotter and Weddle. Is there much point in that? I guess I don't really want to loop in the midfield for the time being, just because, well, I mean, am I going to loop Ashcroft and Simpson? I don't know. And also with, say Simpson does well tonight, I still have Parrish. You can't really do that. Well, you can do that. Parrish would go to the bench and that sort of stuff, but whatever. I'm overcomplicating things now, but I think it's actually a good point. I might loop Radigalia and Mitchell, see how that goes. Keep Simpson as the emergency. I'll trade Parrish back in if Simpson does all right. Yeah, I'm kind of waffling on a bit. So, you know what, for the time being, just for a bit of fun. Actually, no, we'll just leave it at Oliver and Bont. I'll make a decision on whether I want to vice captain Stewart for the time being, but we'll see. So, yeah, that will do it, guys. I'm keeping Ashcroft, usually scores well at the Gabba. Davey, I'll hold on to just because he's a warm body. See how we go next week. Kate Chandler, MCG, Hawthorn, forward, keeping him. Roberts, I'd like to get rid of him, but I won't. Radigalia is a hold for the time being. Drury, I don't want to go early on. I prefer Weddle over Atkins. I'd rather save the 70 grand. Noah Anderson, no, I prefer the more experienced bodies, like the blokes that have been doing it for a few years. I know, I've got Day, for example, but he was 450k. Thought I'd jump on. Gone. Not sure how I'm going to get him this year, to be honest, unless he stays around the 550 range. When he gets DPP, Andy Brayshaw, I don't really like him. I prefer Mills. I prefer Steele because I've got a pretty tough fixture for the rest of the year. So I've waffled on enough. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a great week. Yeah, it's going to be a big week of SuperCoach again. Hopefully I'm not being too aggressive too early, but I still think I'm in an okay position. Literally for the rest of the year, it's 1 up, 1 down. Maybe use the last boost to get the guy I really want, and then just hold on trades. Hopefully I'm on like 5 trades after round 16 and just hold them for injuries for the rest of the year. So, all right, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a good night. Cheers.